In the book of Genesis, there are two states of being which are referred to with the help of a story. A very philosophically deep truth and mystic truth is presented, and it is presented in a childlike, in a narrative, because it doesn't call for intellectual. It doesn't want to stress the intellectual capability of the person listening to that story. It gives a truth in a form that even a child can understand. And as the child grows up, becomes intellectually mature, he or she can decode it and get at the kernel truth. And what is that? It speaks of two states. First, before the fall, and the second, after the fall. Pre-fall, pre-lapse, pre-lapsarian reality, and the post-lapsarian reality. Now, when we talk of the pre-lapsarian, let's look at the pre-lapsarian world. In the pre-lapsarian world, God created Adam and Eve, both staying in the Garden of Eden. Both are naked. Yet, Adam is not ashamed of his nakedness, nor is Eve ashamed of her nudity, nor perhaps they are aware that they are naked. Now, what happens that brings about? Suddenly they get aware of this fact. How do they get this awareness? The story says that Eve seduces Adam at the instance of Satan to partake of the fruit from the tree of life, the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. I think that must have already clicked in your mind. The moment you say the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, the reference is that Eve and Adam are being initiated into partial consciousness or disunitive consciousness. Partial consciousness. The moment they eat that fruit, what happens? Adam becomes aware that he's a man and she is a woman. Eve becomes aware that she is a woman and he is a man. Stage 2, Adam becomes aware that he is naked. So, he tries to cover himself up. And Eve also becomes aware that she is naked, so becomes different. So both a psychological distance emerges, not just between a psychological distance. They have already fallen. Earlier, they were one with each other. There was no feeling, this consciousness of being different from each other, even though they were different. But now, having eaten this fruit, they have become aware of the fact that they are different and it is not good to be naked. And when God comes, look at their reaction, their response. And God calls for them, "Where are you?" And both hide. Before the fall, they never hid from God. But after the fall, they hide from God. So what has happened? This is not a physical fall. The fall is that of consciousness. Prior to the eating of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, they had two-in-one consciousness. That is, even though they were two separate forms, opposite pairs. Yet the consciousness that they had was that of being one. The one manifest as two separate opposite forms, x and minus x, but lodged in zero consciousness. And because they were there in zero consciousness, anchored in zero consciousness or God consciousness, divine consciousness, there was no need to feel shy, to feel afraid of God. There was no distance between them, and God. So no need to feel afraid because they were one with Him. But once they eat the fruit, what happens? That two-in-one consciousness goes out. They lose that zero consciousness, that divine consciousness. What is the consciousness now they have? The consciousness of being male and female. X has the consciousness of X consciousness. She has the consciousness of minus X consciousness. So both have partial consciousnesses now. This is the fall. So there is no fruit, in fact. The fruit is only symbolic. And good and evil, knowledge of good and evil, they acquire the knowledge of duality and they become dualistic. And that is what actually creates this problem. So, this world is not Maya, it is not unreal. What is unreal is the consciousness of this world. So when Adi Shankaracharya says that this is Maya, this world is very real because it has come out of real. It has come out of reality. So it cannot be unreal. But what is unreal is the conception, the consciousness of this world. Like in the case of Adam and Eve. Prior to the fall, also the world was manifest. That is why it is called the Garden of Eden. After the fall also they are manifest. But prior to the fall, they had that two-in-one consciousness, so there was no Maya. But after the fall, they have partial consciousness, divided consciousness, dualistic consciousness. They no longer they don't have that transcendental or unitive consciousness. And Bible says, therefore, sin was born that day. The sin is a moral term. We need to move away from the terminology of morality and move into the terminology of cognition. There is no transgression here. It is misinterpreted many ways by many people as that they wanted to be like God. No, they were already God. In fact, it's a fall. That is why it's saying it is a fall. The fall happens even before they are thrown out of Garden of Eden. The fall happens the moment they get that consciousness. It is a fall of consciousness. So, Adam and Eve, they are deprived, a distance has emerged. Now they don't know from where they came and where they are anchored. So we speak of this world being an illusion. We don't mean to say that its substance is illusion, that it is an illusion. The illusion is cognitive. The illusion is in terms of consciousness. The moment you operate with dualistic consciousness, you live in the world of Maya. And the moment you are liberated from dualistic consciousness and you acquire that two-in-one consciousness, two-in-one, unitive consciousness which embraces all, you are liberated, and that is called moksha.